So what's your approach to writing a story or bringing a vision to life? Like, how do you go about that?
A lot of times, some of these stories come to me in my dreams. To be honest, they come to me in my dreams, and I instantly, no matter what time of night is, I wake up and I write it down. I can remember the whole thing. I put it in my notes. But this particular film, Armstrong Darshikers, came from a song. A friend of ours, Sosa Lulu from my neighborhood, Jerry, would sent me this song. It was like a minute and 14 seconds or something like that. And I turned it into a franchise. And so it just depends. I get motivation, bro. I like stuff that moves people, stuff that's like true, that feels real,
Yeah.
that we can relate to. So
And I even see the Bloody Nickel project. Like,
yeah.
yeah, let's talk about that since you know
Oh
you
yeah.
being from there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. So as an actor, I'm gonna be honest. I rock with my boy Greg Carter. He's a big director. He's pretty dope. He did the show. He did a show with Carl Anthony Payne. He did a Fifth Ward show. I think it was called Fifth Ward, matter of fact.
Yeah.
But when I watched it, I felt like I didn't feel connected to it as I should have been. Like being from there, you want to watch something. You know, it's different when you from somewhere. You watch, you're like, that ain't.
Yeah.
So for me, I came and did a raw version of it, and also included people from the neighborhood. I went to the businesses. I went literally and made sure that people were gonna feel it. I wanted us to be proud of that project more than the world. I wanted to make sure that everybody felt included to what we were doing, and it turned out great.
Okay, so were there any particular movies, filmmakers, or life experience that influenced your style, like when it comes to filmmaking?
Yeah, absolutely. John Singleton, by far. I think, and people is a major compliment. People be DMing me saying that it's like when you just look at the style of how I shoot. No matter if it's a quote unquote hood film or a love story, whatever it is, you're gonna get a cinematic feel from anything that I put out. That's just part of my discography on when I watch this stuff. Think about the '90s. Like I'll tell you this, from the '90s, look how many stars he put on.
Yeah.
So, and then you go back and look at my career. I've worked with so many people that didn't have big names because I knew they had the talent. I placed them in the right position. So I think if you really, when you get to compare the two, you're going to see 5, 10 years from now, like people go back to my earlier films and be like, damn, they was in this. Just like you do now with Neil Long, Ice Cube, and those people like that. So that whole thing for me, John Singleton is just, he the stand-up for me, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure, a legend. How do your personal experiences or upbringing show up in your work?
Every character that you've seen on these projects have a little bit of me in them. I think these stories come across good because you can tell that it's coming from an authentic place and it's relatable. That means I think only time somebody can tell a story like that or give you that feeling if they've lived it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Okay. How do you balance storytelling with cinematography? Like, what comes first in your mind?
Storyteller. Because as I'm writing these scripts, in my scripts, I'm very descriptive. So I'm also describing the type of shots in the script. So I'm like, so I don't forget them. I put them in my story. But it's always story first. Because when you create a film, you have to know the story. Because when you have the story, you have to go know the crowd you're telling it to. Yeah. Like you have to understand every film has its own audience. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's definitely the story first, and then I think about the schematics of it, like how I want to look, what cameras I want to use. I go get with Lex or whoever DPing and go from there. But the story is always first.
Okay, and you writing these?
Yeah, everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so when you're doing this, is it kind of like all right, this is already fully complete, or you kind of like write a skeleton and then as you film, you like, okay, I'm gonna add this in as we go type deal?
No, for me, I go over it so many times before I send it out to anybody. I do a lot of drafts. Like the last Armstrong had about probably like 6 drafts. And then I'll do that. Then I'll send it to get coverage on it. It's a company that do coverage. They tell you all things that could be better. I do that, which a lot of people don't know about coverage. Y'all need to do coverage on some of these films and the scripts. That coverage is very, very, very important. But yeah, so they just break down your whole thing and tell you what could be better about it. And then I call some of the actors. I have about 3 people that I call while I'm working on it. Like one of the actors in the film, I call Jerry. He's one of the EPs on the company. And then maybe like an executive from a network that I know. I'm like, what do you think about this? So I have like my own panel, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so being a filmmaker, it's one of the biggest creative visions. I feel like you never stop
thinking,
yeah, because as life goes on, there's more shit you're seeing, living, and experiencing. how do you disconnect when it's time to like, okay, I'm gonna like, have you ever had like a writer's block or like, damn, I
Of
can't,
course.
yeah, and how do
Yeah.
you disconnect to get back to where you need to be?
You gotta step away sometimes. But for me, man, I'm like, I hate being stuck. I hate feeling like
Yeah,
I'm sucking at something or I'm stuck. So all that to me is like what I do is I might take a step away. But what I will also call, like I said, call Gloria. I have to say this on camera. Gloria Prince. She plays Missy in the film. I called her a lot when I was doing this one. She has good ideas because some people got great ideas, but they don't format it right. So I understand who I'm working with because I have personal relationships. So I'll call or outsource sometimes, and then they may say one thing to me that trigger me, or I could be in the shower or in the car. Those are my two main places that are like ideas come
ideas.
to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. What advice would you give to young creators that are trying to break into the industry with limited resources?
The advice I would give to the young creators, I wish I would have knew back then. My whole journey early on was you don't really need as much money as you think. Early on, I think when you try to go in, because everybody goal is I want to get $1 million, shoot this project. I'm like, bro, you don't even need anybody that's done film seriously understand you really don't need $1 million to shoot no project for real. It's just about understanding the equipment you have, putting people in the right position, and also realizing that you should actually start off with less money. Because if you like when now with Tubi in these platforms, you want to come in less. They taking so much money from you out of on the back end that you want to come in less. That way you're not having to pay these investors back so much money. I wish I would have known that. I jumped out the gate doing 25, 50,000, 100,000. Like I jumped out the gate and not realizing, damn, I didn't understand the field I was playing in.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reality. You don't need a bunch of money, bro. People shooting with iPhones right now. It's about your drive and your work ethic, bro. Nobody want to hear your excuses. It's up to you to go make to make that dream happen for you.
Yeah, so now, yeah, you brought up a good point with Tubi. Like, we in this new era where you don't got to go to Blockbuster. You don't got to go, rent a movie. Like, you got Tubi, you got Netflix, you got Amazon, you got so many different streaming platforms. Like, being a filmmaker, like, how do you assess, like, okay, this is the platform I want to go through?
Right now, you got to go with what's hot. I mean, I think that's just current. You have to go because that's what the people is. Like right now,
Yeah.
Tubi is a very, very. They don't understand about the business side of it, but
Tubi
for the
jumping.
creator, like Tubi jumping, people make jokes about it, but that's good because that means people are watching it.
Yeah.
People watching Tubi more than they watching Netflix half the time.
Facts.
'Cause with all them fees they keep throwing on people. So I've even seen Netflix adopt the same. I see them adopt the same system. Now they got the ads on there. All that stuff was stem from Tubi. So I would say Tubi for sure. I think for y'all, I think people need to figure out like go where the money is because Tubi paying the most money right now, and you have control if you go through the right distributor. So I think for sure that would be my advice.
And if this not giving too much game, just because I'm sure some other people that's curious watching this as well, going through Tubi, is it still like all independent? I could go somewhere else, or do you have to go through contracts and then it's like, okay, we negotiate. I'm gonna put this much.
Yeah.
Like I want this much for my product, or how does that go?
It depends. So I'll give you this, and then I'll tell you. I'm gonna give people the route that I took. So first, it depends on the distribution company. Depending on the percentage they want to take. I'm not a fan of giving the ownership of my stuff, so I don't work out any deals like that. I think the best deal that I've seen. I ain't gonna lie. I went through oh my God, I got screwed. I think everybody gets messed around on their first project. I just happen to have 2 projects on this, my first deal on the distribution side. And we didn't know, they knew we didn't have information on the deal. We got charged so bad. I think, I'm going to tell y'all this on camera. I don't think any filmmaker should sign a deal that's like a 65-35 or a 60-40. I think you should go to Film Hub. They do an 80-20 deal. You're not under no contract. All you got to do is pay them like maybe $400 to take it down, but they're going to upload your project up to their system. You're going to have full access to your account. You can see what you're making. And whatever you see in your account, all the fees have already been taken out from that. And I think I like that because I can take the money out when I want. I don't have to go call 50 people. You can email them. They're going to give you a rep. And they work pretty good. I've liked them. But what I will tell y'all, if you're going to go that route, to be fully independent, you're going to have to do a hell of marketing because none of these distribution companies are going to market your film for you. They don't care what it make. Whatever it make, they're going to take their percentage off top. So you have to really do a really good job of marketing to make good money. But you have all the control. It's going to be all on you.
For sure. So I want to ask this too, just because I'm not that educated in it, but I like dealing in the music primarily. I see like the amount of money that goes into it versus like how easy it is or how hard it is for a motherfucker to recoup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they paying all this music video, studio time, image, all of that. Okay, so on the film side, like putting out projects, is it easier to recoup, or when you're putting out projects, is it more so like I want to just keep garnering more eyes, so like eventually, like kind of like the
it's like
music.
you can build yourself up
Exactly.
to something. Yeah, I think both. I think you're right in that. I'll say music artists. Why artists don't know this? I think y'all should focus on getting placement in films. You don't even got to charge up front for the fee. I think for y'all to want to get into it, because usually they got people that they have companies that they can sync your music for you. But if you're gonna do it on your own, if you listen to my film, I got all independent music in the film, but because I know where to place it. Is that you do the cue sheet, you make sure that everybody you get their number. I forgot the name of the number, but it's like every artist has a number. That's where ASCAP or BMI.
Yeah.
You take that, you do a real cue sheet, and you submit it with the film to your Film Hub account or wherever distributor you go to. And the more legal stuff you have to get on your film, the more networks that's going to license your movie, and the money will find the artist. It's like you do when you put it on there and it's anywhere on a commercial. It's going to automatically be sent to the artist after 90 days, and they'll make money every time that movie make money. No matter where it go, they'll automatically be sent money. So that's the answer for the artist.
Yeah.
So I would tell all artists, try to get in movies because it's different ways to make income. Now on the flip side, to recouping, that's a tough question because. That's back to what I said earlier. I think now that if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have came out of the gate with so much money invested into the project. I think I would have tried to probably give some of the crew members percentage on the back end and could have kept my budget low in order to make the money back. I would have done that because I was big on quality too. Like, nah, bro, I'm from LA, I'm Hollywood. Like, people expecting me to put out some amazing shit, so I need the budget to do it. And me and Jerry put up all the money for this stuff. A lot of money before we even knew how the distro side worked, and then we end up getting a little short end of the stick. But since we own everything, we end up making money long term. That's the goal in this, is to build yourself in a situation where you're not coming into a big-ass deficit early on. I would tell everybody, if your first 3 projects, man, I would try to keep that shit under 20,000, especially if you don't market. Right now, people think they too cool to market their own shit.
Yeah.
People spend all that money on them projects, and they make 1 or 2 posts, and that's it. It just don't make sense. I'm gonna post this shit till you get tired of seeing it. Like, eventually be like, let me go watch this shit. I keep seeing this shit everywhere.
Yeah.